People think the Appalachian Mountains are just woods, but they're not. There's something alive in those woods, and it doesn't hold the same form for long.
Here at the Department of Cryptid Investigation, it's our job to look into all cryptid-related disturbances, but there's something off about the Appalachian cryptids that we've been looking into. The cryptids in this region are not just scarier, but they feel connected in some way, and the deeper we look into it, the less they feel like separate creatures. And one of the strangest reports we received doesn't even feel like an animal at all. Enter the Vegetable Man. Witnesses have described a 7-foot-tall, somewhat humanoid creature that appears to be more plant than creature. With green skin and vine-like growths, it appears that the Vegetable Man is almost made of the forest itself. It doesn't charge, it doesn't chase, it just stands there, watching. And several witnesses say the encounter felt even stranger than that. Some claim that when they noticed the creature, they felt something pressing into their mind. This came with the strange feeling that whatever was standing in the trees already knew they were there, almost like the forest was observing them. And the Vegetable Man isn't the forest's only observer. If you spend any time researching Appalachian folklore, you've probably heard of the knot deer. And the issue can be pretty much explained by the name itself. At first glance, it seems like a deer. But the longer you look, the more something feels off. Whether it be legs bending at a strange angle, unnatural movement, or eyes that stare directly at you, unlike a prey animal should. Sometimes it just stands there, watching, trying to understand how a deer should act, but it can never quite get it right. And if this sounds unsettling, it's because it raises a very serious question. What happens when something in these woods stops trying to look normal and starts enforcing its own rules instead? Because long before internet folklore was giving us stories of the knot deer, people in the Appalachian Mountains were telling stories of something else. Something that watches the woods at night. Something people called... The Wampus Cat is one of the most famous creatures in Appalachian folklore. Witnesses describe a large feline creature moving through the mountains at night. Glowing eyes, a low stalking posture, and movements far quieter than a creature of its size should be capable of. Some legends say that the Wampus Cat was once human. Others claim that it is something much older, a spirit of the forest itself. But the interesting thing about the Wampus Cat isn't the sightings itself, it's the role that it plays in Appalachian storytelling. Because in many of these stories, the Wampus Cat doesn't just simply appear. It shows up when someone breaks the rules of the woods. And Appalachia has a lot of these rules. Don't whistle at night. Don't wander too deep into the forest. And if you see something in the trees watching you, leave. Because sometimes the woods are watching you back. Now at first glance, these creatures might seem completely unrelated. A humanoid plant creature, a deer that's not really a deer, and a massive feline stalking the mountains. But when I started to lay out sightings side by side, something strange started to appear. The Vegetable Man behaves like something studying humans. The knot deer behaves like something experimenting with imitation. And the Wampus Cat behaves like something enforcing the rules of the forest. 3 different creatures, 3 different forms, but they all appear in the same environment, the Appalachian Mountains. Which raises a rather strange possibility. What if these aren't separate creatures? What if they're different expressions of the same intelligence? Not one creature, but a system. Something ancient, something connected to the land itself. Something learning, something adapting. Something that doesn't need a single body, because the forest itself might be that body. And sometimes this intellectual network might create something far more aggressive. Because there's another creature reported in parts of Appalachia that behaves very differently from the others. Witnesses describe something fast, something primal, something violent. Something locals call the devil monkey. Unlike other entities that we've discussed, the devil monkey doesn't just observe from the woods. It doesn't imitate animals. and it definitely doesn't wait for you to break the rules of the forest. This creature attacks first. Witnesses describe a large muscular creature covered in dark fur moving at incredible speeds through the mountains. Some reports claim that the creature moves like a primate. Others claim that it moves between rocks and trees with unnatural agility. But almost every report contains the same trace of aggression. This makes the devil monkey one of the most dangerous creatures reported in the Appalachian region. And the department has noticed that recently, several sightings of a creature matching the description of the devil monkey have appeared in areas that the department has been monitoring. And this raises the question, if the forest is capable of watching, imitating, and enforcing its rules, what happens when it decides to take initiative and fight back? And if our reports are correct, then there's something dangerous in the mountains, and our team must get to the bottom of it.